right, guys, here we're going to talk about the movie Jeepers Creepers. 2001's Jeepers Creepers. You definitely saw this one.
Hey! It's a movie I've seen before.
Woo!
Ooh, girl, shit.
It's all you love and know. It's Cannibal Video.
It's good. It's a good movie. I think it holds up. We're done.
I definitely enjoy this movie. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it in 2001,
Yeah.
it came out on DVD, and it was like DVDs weren't like the biggest thing then. It was like, oh, DVD, and like put that thing in at a friend's house who had the weirdest setup in his living room where the speakers were turned backwards, so sounds bounced around and you heard things. So a scary movie was like extra good there.
Okay.
And like so I have a good memory of like oh yeah, this is a fun one.
This is a movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's problems.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, well, you know. You like it,
No,
I like it, but
I
think there's things to talk about here.
I think we both like it. There's a ton to go through, and there's stuff on a rewatch that you go, oh yeah, what? Oh shit, like kind of like,
Yeah.
I remember like very broad strokes, and then like now, when you see the whole things. But yeah, if you haven't seen Jeepers Creepers 1,
Yeah, you
See
can
it?
watch 1, you can watch 2, skip 3, and we're going to talk about it. So if you've seen it or don't care, falls over to spoilers, and if not, pull out now.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
All right, guys, here we are for the spoilers of Jeepers Creepers. Lee, let me hear them spoiler-filled thoughts.
I'm just gonna say this in the beginning. We can cut it out if it ends up ruining the mood. But
He's a rapist.
We don't like boycott anything.
No.
And like this is the powder guy who was a convicted like. We can't
Yeah.
say that word. I think YouTube destroys the video or something. But like I don't really boycott anything. And apparently the happened 10 years before this. This was his comeback or something. So like no, don't like sign up to his Patreon. But the movie exists. Watch it in a way that doesn't give him money if you're so concerned. But no one's gonna be like, well, I want to molest some children, but what? But the guy who made Powder had his career slightly ruined. I better not do this. No one cares.
Wait, how did you just phrase that?
No, I'm saying people don't make the calculation about molesting children because they're afraid. Oh, what if someone boycotts my movies?
Oh, yeah.
30 years from
Well,
now.
and didn't this
no
get
one
like
cares.
financed by like Coppola, who is also like
It's
it's
weird.
like a synergy of like children touchers?
I've read that since where it's like his lifelong mentor, Francis
Yeah.
Ford Coppola, and I'm like, oh god, I don't think he's actually a rapist, but he's like, who? Listen, if you have to boycott everything that involves rapists in Hollywood, you can't watch anything. You have to just watch PBS.
Yeah.
not
Across the board, somebody's related to everything.
I'm sorry about all the
No,
rape.
but this movie is fun. It's worth talking
movie's
about.
dope as fuck.
Yeah, I can separate like when an artist is bad, I can still enjoy the music.
Sometimes the artist is so bad though that I'm like, I don't really need to watch this movie ever, and that's fine. But like everyone has the line to draw, but just don't. I'm not endorsing. I'm not even saying his name. I'm like, fuck that guy. Obviously.
And also, I saw this before I would have ever known anything. So like, it's already built a spot in my brain.
No, and like I think at the time I heard little things of like, well, the guy that made this is like very problematic or something, and I'm like, oh shit, like oh whatever. But then looking now, I'm like that was literally over 10 years before this movie, or 20 years or something. It was like a long time.
I also
before
like
that.
Powder.
No, Powder's good too, and I know it's like, well, whatever the fuck, but like, yes, I'm not gonna whatever. I don't really boycott anything because I don't think it does anything. I'm sorry.
No, yeah. All right, but about this movie.
What is this movie?
So like Justin Long, big fan, especially young Justin Long. I think he's very funny.
I'm not a big fan. He's great in this.
Yes.
Right?
He's in a lot of things that I enjoy.
Yeah.
So when I see him, he's a guy that I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
And at this point, like, was one of those that built that memory. You're like, oh, cool. Okay, this is one of the reasons I
he's
like this
legit and
guy.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. The sister in this, someone who I'm like, I don't really know her, but she's in a lot of things too.
I thought I did know her, and I was like, man, I'm so sexist. I don't know her name. What the fuck? And I checked her IMDb, and I'm like, I don't know her at all. I have no idea who this is.
I will tell them the exact same thing I'll tell you. None of your goddamn business.
Yeah.
She's in a lot of stuff, but just not stuff that I've seen. She was on some TV show that I didn't
She was
watch.
in the
or something.
third one.
Oh, Jeepers Creepers. Yeah.
I think that, honestly, to jump into something that never happened, they could have made a really banger sequel to this.
Yes.
With her.
Exactly.
23 years later,
Like
whatever the cycle is. No, like
Mr.
her, like
Creeper.
I spent the last blah blah
Yeah.
studying the mythical arts, and it's her and that psychic woman who would have still been alive. She may be alive now, honestly.
Or recast her. Fuck it. Who cares?
Well, I think it's better if you can get the same one. But yeah, you know what I mean?
No one would know.
And then maybe like the sheriff, like it's all these
Yeah.
people like, okay, because how do you not believe? Everyone
No.
in that police station there's a massacre of something with wings.
Yes.
Like, there's no not believing. They're in the Bible Belt when that happened. So I think already you could have had a evangelical fucking army of like, no, we will wait 23 years. I will train my son. Like that could have been a thing.
Since we're going and back to Frontier, At the end, the psychic lady says, "I'm just a crazy lady. Don't listen to me."
I'm just a crazy old woman. You ask anyone around here, they'll tell you. That's all I am.
And I think it's really important that they included that scene because it kind of helps to explain, like, oh, well, they do dismiss people that say, because it's not convenient for this to be the truth that all these people know, but that does not, make it impossible for a few people to be like, no, I know what I saw.
Yeah.
Wait, you know what he saw too. Oh, let's fucking do this. There has to be a way to kill him. We're we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna like track him or do some fucking shit.
And they do cripple him for a little while.
Yeah.
So like they ran him over with a car, which honestly, probably one of the easier things to do to somebody. And granted, he flies; he doesn't have to land. But if you did that, like repeatedly, his leg did separate.
Yeah.
Like you could just keep separating him, lock him in a box here, this
They
and
could have a
that,
plan.
dump part on the ocean. Like
they could have a plan to like lock him in a certain chamber after they've destroyed it, like like enough of his body or something like that. It could be awesome.
Because even if you're alive and not dead,
Yeah.
if you can't consume more body parts, you don't get to rebuild yourself.
And I don't
And
think
that's
he
a
has,
cool element.
I think it's eaten too many hearts for its own to ever stop.
Yes.
This is a great character, and they obviously can't go into detail more on what he is because it would kind of break it.
I like that,
Who would
though.
know that?
You hate that. I love
Well,
that.
I have a mixed bag where I'm
Yes.
like, yes, it's much better than a bad explanation, but I would love to know more about it because he looks like a demon.
Yeah, but that's where the sequels could. Oh,
they're brutal.
No. I haven't watched it. Well, I watched 2, I think.
Two's decent. Two's decent.
Yeah, I watched 2 once and and then people said, "Oh, every other one's much worse than that." And I was like, "Well, that was barely good enough to watch." So whatever. The point is, yes, this is one of those things like Phantoms, where it's like, oh, yes, he looks like a demon because this is a creature that has existed for thousands of years.
Exactly. They are
And
the inspiration
he
for what a demon
inspired
is.
the demons. Fucking old books with drawings of Mr. Creeper in the book, and you're like, "Oh shit, we found him. Oh, there's a legend, garlic, whatever the fuck."
Yeah.
Make shit up, flesh
This
it
is like
out.
the type of character that like you could grab like, oh, we
Yeah.
pulled this one and that one and make like a super team of villains that have to save the world or something. Like 'cause he's got a cool power. Like
Yes.
I like what he does. He's virtually bulletproof.
Sarge, because I'm a son of a bitch, but we cannot take him down.
What the hell do you mean wearing something?
You think I was crazy? I told you what this looked like, but this is about the weirdest fucking body armor you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And just that whole I eat what I need to like.
No,
I'm like,
no,
that's
and
cool.
And like they
It eats lungs so we can breathe. And eyes so we can see.
lay it out where it makes sense because he doesn't like I think I read this somewhere, but like some fucking shit's happening up here with his head and everything at the end.
He's like the dinosaur, like the spitter
amazing or
dinosaur from
something.
Jurassic Park. He's like,
Yeah. But like he didn't eat anything that does that, so that's like him or something,
yeah.
right? So you're like
innately him. Like he has wings, he has a weird sonar face. I don't know.
It's like a cupped, like an owl's face, I guess, for sonar or something. It's crazy. It's amazing. But like him like eating stuff like that's not his body really. He can just grow it all back, right? So like he doesn't care about getting shot the same way we would because it's not like a system that has to maintain itself.
Yeah.
He can just eat more and he's chewing it. It's not like he's just like attaching your arm.
he's not a Frankenstein.
He like eats your arm and then grows an arm from your arm.
Like that's arm energy that is used to build arm.
It's great.
It's pretty cool.
Because at the end you see Justin Long's eyes now are like in his head and shit, and you're like, oh, it works like that. Like I love stuff that just kind of shows you some shit and makes you piece it together, and then as the runtime goes, they get a little more explicit and overt with it, so you slowly form this understanding and you get to feel smart of like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
This is cool. I hate when someone's like, oh, it's been millions of years and he's got the power of this. They say Saint Thomas Aquinas fought him in the Holy Realm. And you're like, oh my God, shut up, stop.
It would have been brutal. Like they never have him talk, and I think that's huge because very easily toward the end of the movie he could have ate the cop's tongue, and now he says something with like a fucking southern accent.
That's
or something.
terrible.
And
oh
like,
my god,
you could see that in a lesser movie happening.
Yeah.
And I like that they didn't do
Nice,
that.
nice.
Just a
That's
lot
fun.
of just like this. It shows the budget is on display. Like
Yeah.
that Sistine Chapel like thing. I'm like, this is a crazy wall of like
Yeah.
horrors. Like that's crazy.
No, this all made a huge impression on me at the time because like this is stuff we've seen before in certain ways, but the way it's all combined and all the elements and how it works and stuff, like just like a crazy motorist and he scares you and then he hunts you and I'm like, okay,
That doesn't make any sense though. That's one of the biggest problems is why does he have a vehicle? And why does it have a vanity plate? Who sent away for the vanity plate? Who's maintaining this car
made that
for
himself.
23 years? Why does he drive at all? Like it doesn't seem like it's the most
Yeah.
like he's terrifying. And if you just buzzed people, they would be as scared as anyone's ever been scared.
Listen,
like to drive, to learn to drive, just
I am
keep
not
driving.
I'm not going to question this immortal being's methods. He has learned through trial and error for who knows how many cycles. Okay, I trust him with all the decisions he's making.
And it's weird too because he is awake all the time.
Is he?
I think he's awake.
The other movies reveal more about how this works, right? Or no?
Not so. Oh no, he isn't awake. That is revealed.
I thought he hibernates or
the
something.
reason I thought he was awake because it seemed like the day. Like I guess they don't say what day of the cycle it is.
Yeah.
Like you would almost assume he gets Justin Long on the last day. Like we only have to survive something like type of thing.
Yeah.
But he's in there like.
He's hanging out.
Like he's. Just chilling, listening to his fucking records or whatever. So yeah, like that is I think a mismemory from myself there. But what I mean is what is happening because if you're only available 23 days, at some point I'm registering a car. I have to
That car's not registered.
Oil.
Absolutely not registered.
How would you get be eating you license plate? It's so dumb to
Just
have.
writes it on the
He
license
doesn't
plate.
though. That's a license plate.
Beating you?
The license plate on its truck.
Right, beating you?
No, think about it.
What?
Like these are the little things that break it for
he
me.
probably stole that car and it already had the license
Maybe.
plate. And he
I
can
would
drive
like it if
'cause
he
he's
had a
smart.
familiar or something because
Like a little Norman Reedus hanging out?
Yeah, something.
Yeah, hell yeah.
because he's in this position where he has, I guess, multiple hideouts. So like you'd think
Yeah,
like
doing something.
somebody owns this factory and he stays on there and by doing this it blesses him like that person by not killing his whole family or like something like that like you will take this and maintain it whatever
I
because
feel
he
like this
burns
is-
down one of his churches.
This old church is on fire. I'm talking burning out of control.
I feel like this is a very dangerous direction to go in, but I do appreciate because like that's what could be fun. Like I have heard about the sequels enough to know that this does not do what like Predator does. Like you can make, I don't care, I love Predator. You can make as many Predator movies as you want. They can be as bad as they are, as long as you expand on the lore of the Predators
yes.
and you give me more of their history with the aliens and with their technology. Oh, he's got a new thing or some shit. Because, yeah, I just want to know. I want to see Gary Busey be like, oh, he's changing his spectrum of light or some fucking... I just want cool things. Same like you're saying. Just fucking go in and show me, like, oh, yeah, there's like a symbol, and like wherever that symbol is like under his thing, and there's cultists who worship him or something like that.
There's one
You
on
can
every
build into
continent.
something or
Every
whatever.
364 years, they're all together. We have to try to kill them right now.
Like cicadas, like syncing up their cycles or something. 23 years, I think, is also a mistake. I don't know why it's so long, because like you said, like it's hard to do sequels. You have to do prequels and like meanwhiles and shit. You can't really do
23
like, a
years
good thing.
works in the aspect of you would be you would not know this is the same serial killer.
Yes.
Like you'd be like, oh, 23 years, like people are retired, this blah,
huge,
blah,
huge.
whatever.
Yes,
You're
yes.
drawing a connection, 23 years? That guy be old now. How could it possibly be? Like,
Yes.
I guess that makes sense. It's weird though, just having a property and giving it up so easy. Like, why would he care if people found his property? I don't think that would matter. Does it change anything about him?
Yeah. Well, so like the vehicle too is like meant, I think, to be like, well, I don't want to take unnecessary risks. I just kind of buzz people, and if I sniff them correctly, then I pursue them. But it helps me not
I feel
waste
like
my
it
time
is
or something.
unnecessary
Yeah.
risk to be driving. Like, is he afraid people will know that demons are real? Because he makes it pretty fucking clear to some people. So
Well,
like,
I
no
think
one
he
would
has
believe
to-
you anyway.
yeah,
So
there
it
needs
doesn't
to
matter.
be.
There's something just for being in the South, like
Yeah.
like
Well,
less people see you. Period.
There's some point where clearly we've like crossed over and he no longer gives a fuck.
Yeah.
He's actually like, no, I will kill every motherfucker from here until the state lines if I can get Justin Long. It's over, right? Yes.
We've all felt that way.
I know. He's a Mac.
Hello, I'm a Mac.
I do think that when like a junker car is super fast, that is scary.
Yeah.
And that's something employed by a lot of movies. Like making your car look worse, but under the hood is like, what the fuck is in that? You're out of your fucking mind! Or like when a hearse is really fast, or like anything like that.
It's full of demons. Yeah, exactly. It has a weird skull like hood ornament or something, and you're like, it's powered with Satan. Yeah.
It's a great twist of a movie. Like you start off like, oh, a scary car. I see a guy dropping what looks like a body down a pit.
What the hell is that?
Like, what is this? And it goes. If you did not know what you were watching, it goes so hard and off the rails from there. That I think that's a wonderful twist that the commercial completely gave away.
Oh.
But if you're a normal dude,
luckily I don't watch commercials.
Watching like HBO and you're like, what's this? Jeepers Creepers? I think you're in for a wild ride.
I think especially like you just said the title. I think knowing the title, seeing Justin Long, little baby face dude, and like walking in and not knowing, because like they lose. He dies after all of this struggle. After he's mentally and physically depleted and just like completely shot out. They lose. He gets him.
Yeah.
And flies away with him. And the sister's running and shouting, and then nothing happens, and no one wants to help her, and it just fades away, and it's just gone. And you're like, oh, that's how he's gotten away with it for the last 1,000 years or something.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I don't think I would have shown him flying. I think that looked weird. The wings aren't flapping hard enough for the size of the being, let alone carrying Justin Long. I think the idea that half the police force was massacred, and the next day they're still like bringing in perps through. I'm like, this should be closed down. There should be an investigation. Like the FBI would be there. Like someone just assaulted Precinct 13 here. Like
no. And like I do really think that line of like I'm just a crazy old lady is it's like it
to wallpaper over all this.
It's meant to kind of hold you back a little bit because you would need something of like like the sheriff is like well this is a scandal, this is embarrassing, we need to just make this go away, like you need some sort of thing.
Guy
like
high
that.
on PCP came in here.
Yeah.
Took your brother.
Must have been a gas leak or something. With
like, could you imagine they're heading home for like
chemicals.
Thanksgiving or whatever the fuck, or spring break to see their parents, and now she gotta be like, you were already freaked out in the last time we talked on the phone.
I understand that, Mother. Just trying to tell you where we are. Sitting right here. I told you we're both okay.
Now I gotta tell you that he's dead.
Listen,
from a demon?
Mom, I know I said we're fine, and we were. Promise you won't be mad, but I have more information now. Yeah, it's going to be very awkward.
Don't worry, I have his dirty laundry that can console you for 2 hours, maybe.
He said,
"Hi, Mom. Haven't seen you in forever. Here's my dirty shorts."
This is what you would have wanted. You wanted to clean his drawers. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
I have to bring home laundry. If I don't, she gets depressed. She thinks I don't need her anymore or something. I'm serious.
The movie's like self-aware, like it's like a modern horror movie. I like when they say like, this is the part in a horror movie when people say, what the fuck are you doing?
Gary!
I told you I heard someone.
Okay, you know the part in scary movies where somebody does something really stupid and everybody hates them for it? This is it.
Like, I like that. I like payoffs and setups where it's like he's telling a story about like, you don't do laundry at school, your underwear ends up pink.
You ever try and do laundry in a dorm? They don't steal, they dye pink.
And like you see his underwear later, I'm like, is that pink?
Pink underwear. No, it's a really solid script. It's really whatever. It's like post horror. It's that time. We had a little 9/11. We had Scream like paving the way of like, hey, people in a horror movie might have seen a horror movie, and you're like, what? That's impossible. And this is nice because like you are not prepared for the creeper. This is not like a normal thing that you would have read in a book and you would get it like, oh, it's a vampire. Like, no, it's a totally new thing, which is how that's how it would be for people in a real horror movie because they live in a world that doesn't have zombies in it, right? And so they're just seeing the dead walk now. I don't know what that means, right? The crazy shit like that.
Like him walking on the wall sideways like an evil Spider-Man. Like it looks kind of goofy, but it's also kind of scary. Like,
the shot that stands out in my mind, speaking of walking, is when he first like approaches the police station, and he's like limping all weird, and his like one sleeve is just going. And I'm like, oh shit. Right?
The horrified look on those prisoners' faces, and just seeing what he did to the bars, like this guy's strong as fuck.
And like I said he's like swallowing it. He's like making sick, like gulping noises. It's like it's like a T-Rex. He's kind of like throwing it back like an alligator
or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's terrifying because it's so you're like, and like people do kind of look at it like, what the fuck am I looking at? And then he's like and like turns around, they're like, oh god, I'm not prepared for this. It's like, it's not just like there's a scene where like all the cops turn and then they like hesitate and then they start shooting all together up. Because they're like, I don't know what that noise is, but I have to shoot it. Like, it's this, it's great.
The idea that the cops did not shoot when it has Justin Long, I'm like, this is an incredible amount of restraint. Right now, police shoot people that are like grabbing the license they're asked to grab.
It was a different time.
I was like, okay. And even if you don't want to shoot Justin, those wings are epically large.
Yeah.
I would be blowing the fuck out of those wings just because A, I want to hurt you, and B, I don't want you flying away.
The end too, like the editing to get from the hostage situation to it flying away in the moonlight. In between those two, it's kind of rough. It doesn't feel right.
Processing her talking, I thought, was a mistake.
You can take me. I'm stronger. You want me.
Like,
how does it?
I'm sure it can understand it's been around so long.
Or
but
why would it care?
Why would it? Is it really thinking, maybe I will take the thing I don't want? No.
Right.
It should just kill her and fly away.
Well, yeah, he does. She doesn't know that he knows that he wants Justin Long or whatever, right?
I think he knows at that point.
What?
He knows at that point.
Well, she doesn't know that he knows.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying is like, because she's just trying her fucking
Yeah,
thing.
and
I like that it doesn't work, and you're right too. They showed remarkable restraint. He could have just said one or two words and it would have ruined everything.
Yeah.
To make that moment like land, and he doesn't say anything. So
Yeah,
I'm
like,
ah,
you lose.
yeah,
Flies
so,
away and be like,
some fucking like you're garbage or some weird fucking
Stupid
thing
bit.
or whatever.
Justin Long deserved to die though. Like, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Like going in that pipe, he deserves to die.
Hello? Anybody down there?
He deserves to die.
Okay.
Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, what? And like when you eventually do see like the drop, because like when you're first looking down it, you don't see anything. Once he's down there, you can see the convenient hole of.
Thank you so much, by the way. Thank you for this. Trisha Jenner coming through in the clutch.
Light, and you know where he is.
Yes.
But like what he was trying to do, and them just not going to get the police, like the guy when it was a person almost murders them, and how they got away, honestly. Oh, I have a plan. I'll stop. Like, what? That's the worst thing to do if you're being chased by a maniac.
As if like Creeper has to keep driving on the road and they just go off on the side.
It's a video game that keeps going. Like, once you've driven off the road, you are now so vulnerable.
We have to believe that he was just, double checking that he smells the right thing and he's just scaring them.
No, I'm sure.
He's planning all this.
But also the fact that he did smell the right thing, he could have just stopped. Like, why, if he only has 23 days, why is he lollygagging around? Like,
yeah, I don't know what his motivations are.
He doesn't appear to have any very specific ones.
I think only living for 23 days every 23 years would give you a very long-term view of life, as opposed to it. Because, like, you or I would be like, oh, shit, I only have 23 days. But he's like, I do, like, he may live forever. He's like, I
think that's exactly it. In the fact that he does live forever, the time is, I guess, necessarily meaningless. Like, we don't think about the time we lose while we sleep, and neither would he.
Right. This is just life for him.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a demon or a devil, or just some hungry thing from some dark place in time.
The moment when the phone rings and like they're both like hearing the stuff from the psychic lady, I'm like, this is their Matrix moment. And
are you gonna get that?
Yeah, hello.
Have you seen the cats yet?
And it does work that way. Where like you can see the look on their face. Like that's an effective shot.
Matrix moment. I've never heard it called that. I like that.
When he gets a call.
The what?
Those bodies down there. That's what it likes to call it. It's House of Pain.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
In the Matrix.
I'm familiar with the concept of phones, but yes, this guy. It's for you. I thought it was a little weird. The exposition there. I like that no one in the diner. They're all like, "What do we do with this?" Like they don't know what the fuck how to react.
Excuse me. Excuse me, we need help.
I don't even know what I would do. Like, those are awkward moments. Like, you're like, it's only bad. Do I burst in and just make a scene? Do I go, excuse me, I need you to call the police. I witnessed a
we were
horrible
attacked.
thing. Yeah.
I need help. Yeah, because like there are so many movies where the characters don't do that, and you and I say, just walk in there and be like, hear ye, I need help, and everyone's gonna rush over and start giving you a massage. And no, they all just stare at her like what the fuck do I like? Can you imagine?
Honestly, like as a person who's like witnessed car crashes, you're kind of doing that. You're like,
you would be like, someone should handle that, I guess. My food's getting cold though.
That's why they say like in an emergency, you point at someone, you call the police. Like you need to assign somebody.
Somebody do something, and no one.
And
does
everyone looks
anything.
around and does nothing.
Yeah, but even the waitress is kind of like, what?
The police? We need help now. Please.
Like, excuse me, but then it all turns around when someone, we saw the guy sniffing your shit. He seemed to like it.
And now he even knows my name.
I like that it's an uphill battle and they start to convince people, and then like, I'm so glad I thought of this. 3 times in the movie, the audience sees something in the distance, like the car behind them.
Mr. Polly, Star Trek team guy.
Or the car on top, creeper on top of the cop car behind them.
That's the song. It's the same.
And like, the characters haven't noticed it yet. I think it's super effective and awesome.
Yeah,
but yeah,
and that's realistic. Like how many times are you driving and there's an ambulance
away
behind you and like you don't notice until like it's like right on you, and I'm like, that was blue and red fucking lights just like flying up, but I'm listening to the Bloodhound Gang and driving and I don't hear it.
It's weird that he has the music cranked up and that's like the excuse, because I don't think he would have noticed it anyway. But it helps to be like, okay, whatever.
What's the matter? That's the song. It's the same song that she was playing. That lady on the phone.
But yeah, those moments are great when you're just like, oh,
that's a really effective moment too. Where like they hear something, hang on, dispatch, the sky is falling, and she like pops out, gets ripped out of the car, and you're like, what the fuck? And then he gets like ripped up through the car and fucking axed.
It's a great low-key, realistic car, kind of spins out, but then is like just goes to drunk and like. Stops. There's no like flipping and dramatic bullshit. It's just like
and there's a weird moment here where it's like wire team, stuff where like he's running along the car.
Oh, the backflip too is inexcusably bad.
I have mixed feelings on this because while it's clearly like a wire team moment, they kind of nailed how that looks. Like that's like I've seen people do things like that, and like it has that weird look because you're moving against something moving, so you have a weird look to you.
Him running on it's good, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
He does a backflip at one point.
Yeah,
and it's very wire.
I believe he'd be able to do a backflip.
Yes, I like this because it kind of implies that he's like having fun. He's playing with it. He could just move to the side. He could just leave. But he's like, oh, hey, feisty, what's going on?
Yeah.
Right, which I like, because again, like we don't get any of his inner thoughts or motivations. You can only judge him based on his behaviors, and he's very utilitarian and like clinical. I burn the church. I go eat more stuff to to like regenerate. But this is this is a moment, and when he fucks with the lady, when he like carries her out. This is him like playing with his
showing
food.
how strong he is. She is the most badass woman in the movie. Like by far. She's like, that's not my fucking scarecrow.
Get out of here.
That's not my scarecrow.
Who's in my house? What'd you bring to my house? And she just goes in like, that's clearly a demon.
What the hell did you bring into my house? Oh, get out of here.
Like, I don't care what. It just sprung up your house like it was a fucking alien running away from Meryl.
Listen, they shoot it and it explodes, somehow jumps onto the roof.
Get the hell away from it!
No, that's her mannequin. Her scarecrow's exploding.
Why?
Because she shot it.
It's like fire and shit. What do you mean?
Oh, she used those dragon's breath rounds.
Check this out. Okay, there's a weird explosion, and then it's gone, and they see it like on the roof, and she's like, "Hey, varmints," and she's just gonna go take care of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Where do you live, lady? What goes on here?"
I thought her firing 2 shots was a mistake too, because like you don't see her load another round into the shotgun. You know, she has a double barrel shotgun. She fires one at the mannequin. She goes into the house, fire 2 shots, and I'm like, She could have reloaded. We didn't see it though, so I'm gonna assume it didn't happen. But badass woman nonetheless. No fear.
Fucking head off.
And also, I'm always impressed when they actually do the double tap. Like, she runs him over, she backs up. She
oh my
runs
god.
him over, she backs up.
You think he's dead?
They never are.
Like,
to the point where he has to say, "Okay, enough, stop. What are you doing? Oh my god."
Well, because you're afraid, like, are you gonna break the car?
Yeah, what
like,
are you doing? What the fuck?
Enough.
And when she's like, I don't know how many miles this car has in it, and then she's like, Arr! I'm like, why are you not taking it easy?
I don't know how much further this car's gonna go.
Far enough.
You bitch.
No, I love the rolling over too, because that's like the opposite of the horror movie moment. It's like more of that.
Yeah.
We live in a no.
Let me step over the knife and shotgun and walk over there. Like, what are you, an idiot?
Well, I've scared the killer. I can put this knife down
Yeah.
now and go back to the fish tank. Yeah, no. Exactly. Keep running him over forever, but then
Turn him into mush.
And this is where the first wing comes out. Oh, when they run him over the last. Oh god, there's really good camera work on this.
Yeah.
By the way, well, we should say when they're like talking in like the 2 cars when the cops are following them, the camera like swims in between the cars when.
I'm up to my ass in fire and rescue, but I can tell you right now, no one's going inside this thing for a long, long time.
The incest capital of the world.
Oh, don't be such a snot.
They're talking, the dialogue is really good, and then leads into this where like the wing blocks the headlights for a second, and it feels really cool and all that stuff. And when they finally run over him, the wing's like twisted, like it looks like a dead bug kind of. It's really like gnarly, and you're like, oh,
like with a little death twitch.
Yeah, and you're like, that's dead. I know what dead looks like, and then no. No.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Like you almost, expect like, oh, it'll be like another member of its species or something is gonna come like avenge it. You killed my son. I'm like twice as big. I'm gonna kill it. But no, it's just our dude puts his hat back on. He's like, all right, we're doing this shit. It's great.
An issue I had too was like people are not rational, and like the moment somebody drops into a pipe and is out of your eye line. Doing something and says like, I think she even says like, I found the body, or he says I found the body or something.
We found our body.
And she's just like completely silent for the whole time that he investigates, because the tension has to be there where it's silent, you don't know what's happening, and there's a jump scare or whatever.
She would be yelling.
She would be going, what do you say? What's down there? What's, listen, answer, hello? Like there would be no moment where you're not screaming constantly, because you have to know. If someone's just like in the other room and you're like, can I have a cup? And they don't respond, you're like, I need a cup! Like,
never mind.
Something. But that felt like just, I'm like, that's not how people behave. Like,
yeah, they try
should have had him tinnitusing and like her screaming and him like,
yeah.
Like that would have worked.
It kind of feels like that moment. I think that's how I like read it. But to your point, like she says, like, you scared me half to death down there. What's going on?
The moment
but
the tension is over, she's completely doing what she should be doing the whole time.
She waits until the thing.
Say something. You're scaring the shit out of me. Jerry, tell me what's going on.
Convenient.
Yeah, I was also almost kind of confused because I thought he said go get help, and then she is just waiting by the car for him.
Yeah.
Is that what happened there?
Go flag down a car. She doesn't. She gets scared thinking it's the other car.
No,
he pops out. We don't see how he gets out, but like.
But she wasn't like about to get help. She's just chilling. Did I misunderstand something, or do you agree that like something is up?
I think that's
there?
part of her not behaving rationally or doing anything. Like, should have been looking for rope immediately or like something.
Oh, that's true. Or like banging on the church door, trying to get in, or something like that.
Because there's no guarantee that goes to the church. You don't know that's a basement. Like, he's not vocalized that yet. He doesn't know that yet. No. So for all you know, he's in the sewer. I don't know.
He shouts that up at some point or whatever. No, I was. even though I've seen this movie several times over the course of my life, I was still confused when she, because that's a good fake out moment where you see the car and like the blurry car in the distance and stuff. But I was like, wait, shouldn't she be getting help? Didn't Justin Long say to get help? What's going on?
And it's scary to find a body that is sewn up, but why is it sewn up? Where did that happen? That we don't ever get anything like that before.
Oh, he's a student of human anatomy.
But he doesn't, like, even if he was going to put that as part of his, like, you know, my art, why did he take the guy's lungs or whatever and sew them back up and then drop them in there? I don't understand, like, why go through that effort? You only have 23 days.
That's where he puts the garbage. Oh, no. There's like he has like a special table with like symbols carved into it and stuff. There's something.
But he obviously did that surgery like somewhere else, like in the field. Like
I have no idea about any of this.
No.
Well, there must be multiple locations, like you said. He must have layers and stuff. But he's just like dumping bodies here and everything. He's just moving. He's shaking. He's on his grind. He's on his hustle.
It just felt weird, like it was just there to switch the narrative of like, you don't know what's actually happening yet. Because the idea of him, oh yeah, I wrapped them up in towels and I put ropes nicely around the different sections to make you know it's a body. Oh, he's bleeding. I sewed him up though. Because that's all very creepy. And it's a different kind of creepy than everything else is.
I think I read the movie as like what you're seeing in like the first half is what usually happens, business as usual. But he finally meets his match in these two fucking kids, and shit goes off the rails. And he's like freestyling. He's vamping now. He just has to figure out a way to make it all work, and he fucks up, right? Like you said, he like reveals his existence to dozens of people. Who he doesn't kill.
Maybe.
Right?
Because the second one, they don't go through any of this. So
literally
like,
nothing,
it just
right?
throws that all away like it meant nothing.
Okay, but that I think, if I vaguely recall the second movie, that would be the criticism. Is I want sequels to the first half of this movie, not to the second half of this movie. But I feel like every normal, normie Normerton person just eats up the second half, and it's like, oh, it's great. The fucking I love it. Give me more of that.
It's like a demon version of the guy from The Hitcher. Get it. Ooh. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's alright.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
I need you to listen to this.
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition, now it's only us. Our expert staff